Hello everybody, this is Top MTG here today with another Ikoria Layer of Behemoth spoiler video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down all the spoilers that came out today, telling you what I think of them, how they're gonna do in the metagame, just general information. So why don't we jump right into this? Starting off, we have Vulpicate. It's a 4-cost creature, fox bird. It has mutate for 3, so that's 1 less than its actual cost, and it has flying. And when it mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So, I mean, if you're looking at it, it's kind of just a 3-cost enchantment that gives something a +1/+1 counter and flying. So look at it as an instant card that says target creature gets +1, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and a flying counter on target creature. So, you know, that's kind of how you can look at this. Or if you don't have a creature, it can also be creature itself. So, I actually kind of like it. We have Snare Tactician. It's a 3-cost creature human soldier, and whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature an opponent controls. So this basically allows you to turn all the cycling cards in your hands into kind of weapons that you can just kind of discard, and you can tap something. So, oh, you're going to attack me? Cycle, and then maybe a couple other triggers happen. So I could totally see people trying to get a cycling deck to work. I don't know if it's going to work, but I know people are going to try. We have Easy Prey. It's a 2-cost instant. It says destroy target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less, cycling 2. Don't think this is going to see any play in the meta, but I think it'll be something pretty good in limited. Then again, converted mana cost 2 or less, you are guaranteed to break even or lose value in terms of like mana cost that you're using to fix the problem. But it does have cycling. So if you're running a cycling deck, you may just run this for cycling. Remember, in draft, you can run, like, even if you don't have black in your deck, you can still run this as a cycle trigger if you want to. So, I think this will definitely see play in limited. We have Fire Prophecy. It's a 2-cost instant. It says it deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. So this is basically just 3 damage to any target, discard a card, draw a card, which is not bad for 2. The only reason it's not actually discard a card is because otherwise you could really easily, deal 3 damage, discard another card, which would be maybe a spell, and now your drakes are another one bigger. I think this is to prevent drakes from being crazy. Next, we have Flame Spill. It's a 3-cost instant. It says it deals 4 damage to target creature, and excess damage is dealt to its creature's controller, so it's kind of like Trample, but with spells. I like it. Don't know if it's going to see any play, but I do like it. We have Porcu Parrot. It's a 4-cost creature bird beast, mutate 3, so again, it's a 1 less. And then you can tap, and this creature deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. So, essentially, you are enchanting something. Think of this like an equipment that just pings something for 1. Like, at its very worst, you're paying 3 to enchant something that gives the creature ability to ping someone for 1. Not that great, but if you are combining this with the mutate deck and you put this onto a creature that's mutated 4 or 5 times, I mean, it might kind of stink to tap it instead of actually attacking, although there's a high chance it has vigilance from something else. You might be able to get some extra damage in here, so yeah, I kind of like it. We have Unpredictable Cyclone. It's a 5-cost enchantment. It says if a cycling ability of another non-land card would cause you to draw a card, instead exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, this is kind of crazy. So imagine that in your deck you have Galta. Let's say we're playing Historic or Emrakul, and for some reason you're playing this and one other creature, and that creature happens to have cycling. All you have to do is discard that, and boom, Emrakul is hitting the field. You may cast the card without paying its mana cost. You are also getting the cast trigger. This card is utterly insane. If you build your deck right, like say you have some really important artifact, you just need one other artifact in there with cycling. Now, sure, if you run more than one of that, you could run it to itself. But this is really crazy, and it's free casting. Now, it does cost 5, and right now Red really doesn't want to get up to 5. But this is kind of pushing the boundaries. I could see Jeskai Fires running a deck similar to this. Maybe like a Jeskai Fires-esque deck where it's trying to get this card out, and then it can do some really crazy stuff. So, I'm not sure. Next, we have Lead the Stampede. It's a 3-cost sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of creatures from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. So, instead of just looking at the top 3 and picking one, you get to reveal all creatures. Pretty good card. Definitely good in limited. We have Regal Leosaur. It's a 2-cost red and white creature dinosaur cat 2/2, and it can mutate for 3, so it actually costs 1 more. But whenever it mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. So you are really boosting up your other creatures. If you have something with haste that can mutate or flash, you can then use this as a combat boost. So yeah, I feel like this thing's. I overall really like this. Next, we have Whirlwind of Thought. It's a 1 and then blue, red, white, or 1 Jeskai, and it's an enchantment that says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. So, counter spell, also draw a card. Board wipe, draw a card. I think this is not what standard needed. Jeskai Fires will definitely play this card. I don't like this. Next, we have Sky Cat Sovereign. It's a 2-cost white and blue creature elemental cat, 1/1 flying, and it gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control flying. So again, they're going with the whole flying theme. I'm not a huge fan of playing against that deck. It's kind of interesting to play, but yeah, it's a 4-cost, then it has a 4-cost ability, and it says create a 1/1 white cat bird with flying, which also gives it +1/+1. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, a limited bomb. It gives you something to just dump your mana into if the game is starting to stall. Flying is generally pretty good and limited, so yeah, it's interesting. We have Slither Wisp, which is a blue, black creature elemental nightmare, not a sliver. It's a 3/2 with flash, and it says whenever you cast another spell with flash, draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. Again, they're promoting casting things with flash, not casting things at instant speed, which I think is better. So overall, I'm not super opposed to this. Although we have another draw a card and each opponent loses 1, or draw a card trigger here. So I think there's way too much card draw right now in standard, but whatever. Next, we have Immaculate Ultimatum. It's blue, red, white, sorcery. Target player gains 5 life. So you're going to gain 5 life. It deals 5 damage to any target, and then you're going to draw 5 cards, which this is kind of the most basic one. I mean, drawing 5 cards is no joke. Dealing 5 damage to any target is kind of a joke for that mana cost, and gaining 5 life is kind of a joke for that mana cost. Breaking it down, the only, you're paying 2 white to gain 5 life. Fine. You're paying 3 red to deal 5 damage. I guess. And then you're paying 2 blue to draw 5 cards, which is a ton. Overall, I don't think it's useless. It's not like the worst card in standard, but it's just for the mana cost. I just don't see it being as good as kill all non-land permanents you don't control. Next, we have Kinyon Bonder's Prodigy. So this is a mythic. It's a green and blue, so Simic, great. Legendary creature, human druid, 2/2, and whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. Oh my gosh, this is just broken to standard, actually. So now we have Nissa, who's going to be hey, you, every time you tap a forest, add another. And then this one's oh yeah, now this is non-lands. So I guess it may not be that bad, but you have all your mana dorks, you have any artifacts that are adding mana. I'm not a huge fan of this. This feels like playing with fire, and then you can pay 7, which is going to be kind of easy to get with that top ability, and look at the top 5 cards of your library. You put a non-human creature card from among them just onto the battlefield. Again, Emrakul, just pay 7. I mean, you are paying 7, so in standard there's not too much that you could get out that you couldn't get out before. But this is a repeatable ability, and not a huge fan of this. This is playing with fire. We have another mythic. It's Winota, Joiner of Forces. It's a 4-cost legendary creature, human wizard. This looks like it was taken on MTG Arena because the creature type is cut off. So that's probably not wizard, that's probably warrior. And whenever another non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Great. So, wait, this cannot be a real card. So wait, the way this is worded, it makes sense to me that it's saying, oh, you attack with 3 1/1 elves. Are you going to get to do this 3 times? Because if that's the case, you then get to look at the top 6 cards of your library and put a human creature from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Now, it is limiting it to humans, but we do have things like Arcane Adaptation, and I mean, that is throwing in 3 colors, but Jeskai is supported in this, so either way, I could see this being a brawl deck. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards in the bottom of your library in any random order. So you're just going to be churning through your deck. unless they're trying to say when any number of non-human creatures you control attack, but that's not what it says, so this is not looking good. We then have our final spoilers for the day, which is the new land, which are pretty crazy. So they are a cycle of 5 rare lands, and they are 3 different land types. So unlike the previous tap lands, which did not have any land type, it was just land and it had the ability to tap for any of the colors. Here, it is actually a mountain, a plains, and a swamp. So let's take a look at Forest Island Mountain, right? Or Swamp Forest Island, that's probably one of the best ones. Swamp, like Cabal Coffers cares about swamps in particular. Nissa cares about forests. So, and a lot of lands care about, oh, do you control 3 swamps? If you do, this enters untapped. Or do you control any swamp? Then it enters untapped. And then it enters the battlefield tapped, so this itself is always going to enter the battlefield tapped, but then you can also cycle it. So these are definitely crazy. They're a prime target for fetch lands to target now. I would not be surprised if these were expensive. Now, they do enter the battlefield tapped always, which is not great, but the fact that they have all 3 types on them are pretty insane. So, let me know what you guys think of these in the comments down below. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button, subscribe. We haven't seen all the cards, but today was supposed to be the last day of spoilers, so tomorrow I'll do a video covering all the spoilers that they're probably going to release tomorrow on Daily MTG. Yeah, if you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.